Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and this is Mecha News. So in this video, we're going to talk about the most recent Bandai announcements. Last week, they announced a number of brand new kits coming out later this year and early next year. Excited to see all of these and talk about them all with you. Let's go take a look. All right, first up is the MG Gundam Vidar. This is the first brand new master grade kit announced in a while, especially if you don't include the Verka C-Packs that came out a little bit earlier this year. I'm not surprised based on the popularity of the full mechanics that this is the next MG, and I have a feeling that a lot of people will be excited for this kit to come out. From the looks of it, there are a number of interesting gimmicks. To name a few, the handguns have a reciprocating action to the handgun itself, which is kind of cool. It looks like the magazine on the rifle is removable. The MG Vidar will be 6,600 yen and released in March of 2025. Okay, next up, two high grades were announced. The first being the Psycho Gundam Mark II. Interesting design, really large, similar to the original Psycho Gundam high grade. Looks to be about twice as tall of the Zeta here in this image. Does have a transforming gimmick and should be a good kit overall. And that kit will be 11,000 yen and released in March 2025. Next up is the HG Zagok Seed Freedom version. Looks to have some gimmicks related to Seed Freedom, including an inner frame based on the Justice, or Infinite Justice second type, I think. And should be able to be combinable with parts from that kit as well. Looks like also some damaged parts. The Zagok Seed Freedom version will be 3,520 yen, releasing in February of 2025. Next up, there was an entry grade announced, the Strike Rouge. Don't expect it to be much different than the regular Strike Gundam entry grade that already exists. Based on how good the entry grade kits are, those should be a pretty solid kit for anyone interested in the Strike Rouge, and should be combinable with some upcoming accessory packs as well to recreate some scenes from the from the Seed Freedom movie. All right, next up, a handful of SD kits were announced, including a few from SDW Heroes, the first being the Captain Quanta GF. That'll be 1,540 yen, coming out in March of 2025. The next is the GF Gundam Estrella Type B, which will be 1,540 yen, coming out in March 2025. The third is the GF Gundam Estrella Type F, 1,540 yen, releasing in March 2025. Two other SD sets were also announced. It appears to be a reprint of some popular existing SD designs. The first is the 0083 Stardust memory set, including the GPO-1FB, GPO-2A, GPO-3D, and the New Exil. This set will be 4,510 yen, releasing in January 2025. The second set is the Mobile Suit Gundam Zeon Principality MS set. Has 5 suits in it as well, including the Zaku 2 F-Type, Zaku 2 S-Type, the GOG, Akai, and Zok. This set will be 3,520 yen, releasing in February 2025. Finally, two option part sets were announced. Gunpla 15, the Cavalier Ifrid. This one appears to be a backpack armor set that can be used with the Zagok and I think some other designs as well. Has some interesting accessories in it. I haven't seen the movie that it's from, so I'm not super familiar with it, but it does appear to be set up to work with multiple kits. That set will be 2,970 yen, releasing in February 2025. The other set, option part set 14, Gun Barrel Striker. This is another accessory pack. Looks to be from the Seed Freedom movie as well. Includes a 4-barrel Gatling gun and some rockets. It also transformed to some sort of jet type form. It also appears to be set up to work with multiple different kits. That set will be 1,320 yen, releasing in January 2025. There's also one Gundam Figurize standard kit announced as well, Plo 2. This kit is 4180 yen and is expected in February of 2025. A number of kits from Wataru, the Legend of Demon God, were announced as well. First up, the Ryujin Maru, 1650 yen in December of 2024. The Kirin Maru, 1650 yen in December of 2024. The Fujin Maru, 1925 yen in December of 2024. The Tensho Maru, 1925 yen, releasing in March of 2025. The Jugo Maru, 1925 yen, releasing in March of 2025. In addition to those first 5, there were also an additional 5 kits announced with provisional titles and no graphics, expected between December and June. From Super Robot Wars OG, announced was the Weiss Ritter, will be 4950 yen, releasing in March 2025. From King of Braves Geo Gaigar, Choryujin is the HG Super Dragon God. Appears to be a design incorporating a crane and a fire truck into a super robot. Price is 6,600 yen, releasing in January of 2025. 2 Macross kits were also announced, VF22S Sturmvogel 2s. One is the Milia Farina Genius version, expected in January 2025 for 4730 yen. There's also the blue version, the Maximilian Genius version, for 4730 yen, releasing in February of 2025. In addition, there is a set of decals for the VF22S expected out as well. There were a number of kits of slightly less interest, in my opinion. The Mecha Collection DX Type 1 Space Combat Attack Machine Cosmo Tiger 2 appears to be a set of 2 single-seat planes from Yamato Forever Rebel 3199, as well as the Mecha Collection DX Experimental Space Combat Attack Machine Cosmo Python, also a set of 2. From Kamen Rider, Figurized Standard Kamen Rider 01 Rising Hopper was announced. From Uma Musume Pretty Derby was the Figurized Standard Uma Musume Pretty Derby Silence Suzuka. Alright, 3 new Pokemon kits were also announced. Number 21, Kodak, aka Psyduck, here in the US, will be 715 yen, releasing in January 2025. Next up is the Mascana for 1760 yen, releasing in February of 2025. And finally, Sawblaze for 1870 yen, releasing in March of 2025. A new Planosaurus kit, the Therizinosaurus, for 1540 yen in March 2025. All right, next up from the 30-minute family of brands appears to be a new brand, the 30-minute Preference. The first kit in this line is Goto Hitori from the anime Bocchi the Rock. Appears to be a girl playing guitar. Assume that has something to do with the anime itself. Does have me wondering if there will be more new lines of kits from different series utilizing the 30-minute mission kind of family of products. This will be 4840 yen, being released in March of 2025. A number of new kits were announced in 30-minute missions. First up, the Full Armor Alto appears to be basically an Alto with extra weapons and accessories. Be 2178 yen, releasing in January of 2025. The original Alto was a really cool 30-minute missions kit, so it's exciting to see them try to kind of level it up with a new upgraded version. Next in that line, Exo-Vehicle Wing Mobile version. Appears to be another flying type Exo-Vehicle, possibly usable as a backpack, as well as like a base jabber. This is 1188 yen, releasing in January of 2025. Third is the Exo-Vehicle Wheel Mobile version. Appears to be basically a Segway for your Gundam or 30-minute missions design. So the 1188 yen, releasing in March of 2025. Fourth new release is another option parts set, Arm Units Leg Unit 2, another set of arm and leg parts for customizing 30-minute missions. One of the greatest things about that line is the customizability of the line and how all the different parts fit together. So this should result in some interesting kit bashing possibilities. Price is 1188 yen, releasing in February of 2025. Next up is the Spinaccio Royal Knight version. It's a basically another knight variation of the Spinaccio base, including some fantasy type weapons. This one is expected to be coming out in February 2025 for 2068 yen. The final new release announced from 30 Minute Missions is the Exa-Vehicle Metal Cannon bike version. Appears to be another motorcycle type design for use with your 30 Minute Missions or 30 Minute Sisters. This will be 1298 yen, releasing in March of 2025. 2 additional 30 Minute Missions option parts sets were announced in collaboration with Armored Core 6. Weapon Set 3 and Weapon Set 4 both appear to have additional accessories and weapons inspired by the game. Option Part Set 3 will be 1650 yen, releasing in February 2025, and Option Part Set 4 will be 1650 yen, releasing in March of 2025. 30 Minute Sisters also has a new release. The Soiree Color B appears to be another variation on the 30 Minute Sisters theme. This one comes with a demon mask, some horns, and a sword. Looks like there's an interesting fire effect for that sword as well. That'll be 2750 yen, releasing in February of 2025. There are also a number of additional option parts and accessories announced as well from 30 Minute Sisters, so be sure to check those out if that's something you're into. All right, finally is the 30 Minutes Fantasy line. There were 6 new kits announced. It's hard to tell from the Google Translate, looking at the direct Japanese. It looks kind of like there's a rebel or river. Riberu is the one faction versus Rosen and Rosan for the other. There appear to be, for this particular set of releases, a priest for both factions as well as an archer for both factions. The River Priest or Rebel Priest is expected in January of 2025 for 2,200 yen, whereas the Rosen is expected in February for that same price. As for the archers, the Rosen Bishop is expected in February 2025, whereas the River Archer is expected, or Rebel Archer is expected in March of 2025. There are also 2 class-up armor sets as well, one for the Rebel, one for the Rosen. Both will be 770 yen, expected in January and February of 2025. All right, and that's it for the Bandai announcements. What are you most excited about? Let us know down in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think of this format, trying to change things up a little bit. Let me know what you think. Give me your feedback, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.